Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. In the first story, our OP didn't even have to get his hands dirty with the man who stole his parking space. Someone else did it for him. So before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Good luck getting your car out tomorrow, you jerk. It snows a lot where I live. It's a city and everyone parks on the street. The rule is that if you dig out a spot, you can use a space saver for up to 48 hours when you leave. I spent 3 hours digging out a spot. I cleared it perfectly. I had a job interview today, so I put out my space saver and headed off. I came back from the interview 90 minutes later. A luxury car was parked in my spot, and my space saver had been thrown into a nearby snowbank. I wrote a note on the car's windshield with a wet erase marker. I didn't want to actually damage the car, but I want them to think it's Sharpie at first and panic. I had to find another spot and clear it. I passed the original spot on the way home, and someone had buried the entire car in snow, except for the windshield. Someone saw my note and sided with me. Posting an update. Remember that all I did was write a note to this guy. Someone else buried his car. I did call it in for not having a resident parking sticker. I would have done this even if he didn't steal my space. The space belongs to a resident and not him. The car's gone now. I don't know if it was towed or if the owner came back for it. And our second story. If you don't like it, leave. I worked as a waiter at this Italian restaurant in New York City in the early 2000s. The restaurant's now closed. We'll get to that. I, 22-year-old male at the time, was in my 5th year working there, and new ownership took over. The restaurant wasn't doing as well as it used to, but it still had a loyal base, 40-plus year history, and a good location. The old owners were just getting older and built a new restaurant in New Jersey closer to home. The new owners were Mike and Jerry. Names changed, blah, blah. Jerry was the one with the restaurant experience and was taciturn, a bit of a nerd, and by the books. Mike was a mechanic and somewhat mercurial, but also fun to be around, for the most part. Most of our client base at this restaurant were families, older couples, and basically middle-class people from the neighborhood. Honestly, it was the best Italian food in the borough for the price, in my opinion. I loved it as someone who worked there in his early 20s because I worked 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and Monday all day, and made around $300 to $400 a week. Back when minimum wage was about $5.50 an hour. Pretty damn good for a college kid with few to no bills. Now there were only a few other waiters and waitresses. James, who left because he just became a teacher. Tom, who just left because he became a fireman. Will, who was just about to leave to become a court officer or some crap. Erica, cute new girl. Agnes, older housewife who worked there 25-plus years. Jill, another older and beloved waitress who worked 25-plus years there. And me. That's it. So we had new owners and some key spots needed filling. We were on a skeleton crew and I was picking up extra shifts, as was Erica. Most of these waiters who were leaving were there for like 6+ years. The customers liked seeing the same faces. Well, Mike and Jerry, the new owners, decided they wanted all young waiters and waitresses, so they fire Agnes and Jill. The customers were jolted and unhappy. Now, context aside, Eric and I were working a party of about 22 people. It was the last table of the night. When the bill was settled and Eric and I cleaned up, we asked Jerry for the tip. "There isn't a tip," he said without lifting his face from his paperwork. Now, for parties of 5+, I always included the tip unless it was a customer I knew and trusted. I made the effing bill, and I knew there was a tip. I asked again, and Jerry meekly said, "No tip." Now, Erica and I were privately discussing how this is bullcrap, and in comes Mike. He begins screaming at us. "You think we stole from you?" he yelled, red-faced. "We don't effing steal. You accusing us of theft?" He continued aggressively yelling the same crap over and over until he said, "If you don't like it, then quit." He stormed off. Now, I should mention that my best friends all moved to California months before this, and I had plans on moving there with them the next month. I didn't give my 2 weeks yet because it was 4 weeks out. I told Erica this. "Yeah, F this place," she said. As we were packing up to leave, Jerry came over and gave us our tip. with no explanation. Weird. Then Mike calmly asked, "So, see you tomorrow?" "No," I said calmly, "I quit." "Me too," Erica said. "Okay," Mike said deadpan. Well, it wasn't okay. They now had no waiters in a restaurant that needed at least 4 to 5 to function. Even if you pulled someone off the street, they don't know the system, the menu, the customer base, the wine list, etc. They were effed. They called me incessantly for days afterwards, begging me to come back. I considered it because I could use more money before my trip to San Diego, but F them. They even called me throughout the summer asking if I could come in. "Sorry, I'm 2,000 miles away," I said. I'm not sure they believed me, but I gone. The restaurant only lasted a few more months, and it saddens me because I love the place. But if you buy an old Italian restaurant with a built-in clientele, don't scare them off by making stupid changes. Now, if I stayed there, would the restaurant have been saved? No, I doubt it. But a lot of customers would have had better dining experiences those last few months instead of the 15-year-old busboys being their new waiters. There's greedy, and then there's stupid greedy. You buy a successful business, and you try and change things without understanding what you're doing. Stupid greedy. And our next story. Today I got trapped in a supermarket by a literal choosing beggar. So I stopped by the supermarket between Zoom calls today, and this guy approaches me on the way in. For context, I'm a 21-year-old female, and apparently also a grade A chump. He tells me he's short on cash and could I please grab him some juice and a snack. I say sure, I've been broke myself and know what it's like to be hungry. I never give away money, but if someone needs food, I tend to just think whatever and hand it over. He follows me into the store. Bit weird, but okay. He picks out his crap and I start looking for my own stuff. He looks confused that I'm doing my own shopping and holding him up, saying, "You don't seem very concerned about me." Like I'm telling you that I need help and you should be concerned? It's iffy. At this point, I'm thinking, oh no, he's getting needy. Better just buy him his crap so he doesn't follow me around the store anymore. I take him to self-checkout. He asks the attendant if they sell cigarettes. He says no. He asks if they do cash back, and the attendant says yes, but only at the other tills. He starts trying to lead me over there, saying he needs cash for toiletries. Not cigarettes then? I say no, I'll get him what he picked out, but that's it. He starts getting aggressive. CB, I just want a $5, that's it. Me, I'm not giving you cash. I told you I'd get you snacks, that's it, dude. I'm short on money myself. I'm a full-time student on less than minimum wage earnings, and I'm already over budget on groceries this week. CB, you effing W, this'll cost what, $2.50? Look at that. I want some cash, a $5. That's nothing to you. Me, it's a lot to me. I don't get paid very much myself, man. CB, I'm not working you. I need cash. I pay for the stuff and he leaves. I get back to my shopping, but I have a feeling that a guy in full needy mode like that's probably waiting outside. I finish up 15 minutes later, and lo and behold, he's staring at me through the double doors. No sign of the food. Sometimes they open with a request like that so they can squeeze you for money. At this point, I'm getting late for work and feeling crappy myself. I call my manager, ironically also a total creep, and explain that I'm trapped in a effing little. I ask the dude at the checkout what he thinks I should do, and him and 2 other dudes go straight out and try to chase him off. They don't manage for another 20 minutes. He gets aggressive, threatens them, stares through the doors at me, but no one budges. Eventually, he F's off and they walk me in the opposite direction to get a random bus out of the area. On the way, one of the guys was like, "You have to stop talking to these people, lady." Which is not untrue, given the circumstances, but still makes me feel like a total idiot. I just don't like to feel there's such a thing as these people. I want to help people out. But seriously, supermarket workers are legends. That stuff was way above their pay grade, but they still covered me. Thanks, guys. And our last story. Entitled mother almost kills me at her wedding because allergies aren't real. So this is a story my mom always used to tell me, seeing as it happened back when I was like 2 years old. At the time, I had 2 allergies, peanuts and tree nuts. When I was younger, I also had eggs and wheat. My mom had a work friend, EM, who was getting married. and she invited pretty much everyone that worked at her office. And by invited, I mean told everyone to come and also bring gifts upwards of $200. What the hell? So my mom asked EM if the food at the wedding was nut-free, which EM said yes. Or was it? EM, ever since my mom has known her, EM has always thought that allergies was just kids being picky. No matter how much evidence you would put up, she wouldn't take it. She often said that if those kids need EpiPens just because they're so picky, why doesn't my son, she's been divorced, have it when he eats broccoli? Not even lying, she said this. So because of this, my parents were skeptical and of course brought my 2 EpiPens to the wedding. At the time everyone was snacking and eating the food, I decided to eat a tiny bit of the cake, which EM specifically said was nut-free, again to my parents. So I took a small bite, and what do you know? Within seconds, hives began popping up all over me. I started absolutely wailing, seeing as I'm now having trouble breathing. And of course, EM walks up to us as my mom's rushing to get my EpiPen out and put it into me and says, in the most triumphant tone, "Ha! See, he's just picky, that's all. I had to put some peanuts into that cake just to show you." And of course, as the ambulance is arriving, she says, "Stop, stop, he's a picky child. If he needs to go to the hospital for being picky, then take my son as well." I kid you not. If this couldn't get any more ridiculous, EM lunges towards the paramedics and attempts to literally take me away from them. This was a futile attempt as literally every other person at the wedding ended up pinning her down and gave me back to the paramedics, and off I went to the hospital, my parents in tow. Here's the best part. The EM was then, when she tried to get back to the wedding and continue it, was left at the altar. Who wouldn't leave her? As well, she was fired from her job once the boss heard about the incident. Sweet, sweet karma. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.